Have you ever felt trapped in a whirlwind of negative emotions? Perhaps it's the constant worry about the future, the sudden burst of frustration when things don't go your way, or maybe that paralyzing dread that keeps you from moving forward. These emotions don't just drain your energy, they suffocate your joy. We're often taught to be like warriors, to endure these inner storms with grit, to conquer and to fight. But what if I told you there's an older, gentler wisdom? One that doesn't ask you to battle the storm within, but instead teaches you how to skillfully avoid it, or even how to build a strong and peaceful shelter for yourself long before the storm arrives. Today, let's set aside the warrior's stance and step into the garden of Epicurus. Here, we don't learn how to fight, we learn how to live skillfully. We will explore 7 of Epicurus's principles for tranquility, which will help you walk out of your inner storm and into a state of true calm and happiness. Principle 1. Happiness is freedom from bodily pain and mental turmoil. Many people mistake happiness for fleeting moments of ecstasy or sensory indulgence. But the pleasure Epicurus spoke of is far more profound. What he pursued were 2 more stable and lasting states: freedom from bodily pain, aponia, and freedom from mental disturbance, ataraxia. Imagine this: your body is free from any illness or discomfort, and your mind is free from the intrusion of fear, anger, or anxiety. This deep, foundational state of tranquility and contentment is what we truly crave. It's not the rush of adrenaline, it's the peace deep within our soul. When we are troubled by anxiety, it's often because of physical discomfort, like insomnia or fatigue, or mental turmoil, like worry or anger. Epicurus teaches us to proactively eliminate the sources of this pain, rather than passively enduring it or waiting for happiness to fall from the sky. The first step to pursuing happiness is to identify and eliminate the source of pain. So, every time you feel uneasy, ask yourself, is this a pain in my body or a turmoil in my soul? What can I do to alleviate it? This is your starting point on the path to true happiness. Principle 2. Categorize and manage your desires to subtract from life's complexities. A huge portion of our negative emotions comes from the endless pursuit of our desires. Epicurus divided desires into 3 categories, and this will be your powerful tool for managing your emotions. The first category, natural and necessary desires, for example, food, water, shelter, and security. These are the foundations for sustaining life and a tranquil soul, and they must be satisfied. The second category, natural but unnecessary desires, for example, gourmet food, luxurious homes, and expensive clothes. They can bring pleasure, but they aren't essential. Indulging in them can lead to pain, because you will suffer if you lose them. The third category, unnatural and unnecessary desires. For example, the pursuit of power, fame, and limitless wealth. Epicurus believed these desires are the source of most anxiety, fear, and anger. They have no limit, and will only keep you in a perpetual cycle of chasing and dissatisfaction. The wisdom of Epicurus lies in this: focus on satisfying the first category of desires, be prudent with the second, and completely abandon the third. When you stop chasing endless vanities, you'll find that your mind is instantly granted a vast expanse of freedom. Think back to the last time you felt anxious. Was it related to your unnatural desires for money, status, or the approval of others? Learn to subtract from your desires, and you'll discover that happiness doesn't need to be so complicated. Principle 3. Choose friendship wisely to build a harbor of safety and comfort. When facing our inner storms, we often feel lonely and helpless. But Epicurus believed that sincere friendship is the strongest fortress against life's uncertainties and fears, bringing more happiness and security than even wealth and power. Why is friendship so important? because friends provide the support and understanding you need most. When you're sick, they'll care for you. When you're worried, they'll listen to you. When you feel vulnerable, their very presence is a comfort. This deep connection can greatly reduce the anxiety that comes from loneliness and helplessness. But Epicurus emphasized wise friendship, quality over quantity. A few sincere, trustworthy friends are far better than a crowd of casual acquaintances. A two-way street. Friendship isn't about one-way taking, it's about mutual giving and sharing. The act of giving is itself a profound pleasure. Stay away from relationships that cause turmoil. If a relationship makes you feel drained, uneasy, or even angry, you need the courage to walk away for the sake of your soul's tranquility. Stop trying to bear it all alone. Go and invest in your precious relationships. A warm, sincere circle of friends is the coziest and strongest harbor you have against the storms of life. Principle 4. Use reason to dispel the greatest fears of death and the divine. Humanity's deepest mental turmoil often comes from the fear of death and divine punishment. With his calm reason, Epicurus provided us with a method to completely dissolve these fears. Regarding the gods, Epicurus believed that they exist, but they are perfect, blissful beings who would never meddle in the chaotic affairs of humans. They are indifferent to our actions and would not punish us. Therefore, you have no need to feel anxious about pleasing the gods or fearing their punishment. Regarding death, his argument is even more famous. Death is nothing to us. For when we exist, death is not here, and when death comes, we no longer exist. You will never truly experience death, so why would you fear something you will never go through? The fear of death is more tormenting than death itself. This simple logic liberates us from the fear of oblivion and the unknown. It makes you realize that the only thing worthy of your full attention is the present moment of your life. Cast aside the fears of death and the divine, and go enjoy everything you have right here, right now. Principle 5. Live in the present and enjoy small, natural pleasures. Anxiety is often caused by dwelling on regrets from the past or worries about the future. Epicurus emphasized that true happiness is often hidden in the simplest, most easily attainable things. A piece of bread, a glass of water, a warm shelter, a pleasant conversation with a friend. These natural and necessary things can bring immense satisfaction if only we take the time to appreciate them. The reason we are often unhappy is that we overlook these readily available sources of happiness, instead casting our gaze towards distant and illusory desires. We are always waiting for a promotion, waiting for a vacation, waiting for a perfect future, and in doing so, we miss the beauty that is happening right here, right now. The wisdom of Epicurus reminds us, if you do not know how to be grateful for what you have now, you will not be happy even if you possess the whole world. Stop creating the future in your imagination and stop searching for regrets in the past. Every moment holds a happiness that can be discovered. Try to spend a few minutes each day appreciating the simple things you take for granted. You'll find that happiness doesn't need to be won. It has been by your side all along. Principle 6. Simplify your life and work to achieve inner self-sufficiency. Much of the anxiety in modern society comes from work pressure and complex social relationships. Epicurus advocated for a simple way of life, the core of which is self-sufficiency, not depending on others or external circumstances to achieve happiness and security. He did not advocate for laziness. On the contrary, he and his friends worked in their garden, practicing self-sufficiency. He believed that we work to live, not the other way around. Ideal work should bring you satisfaction and provide enough resources so that you don't have to compromise your principles just to survive, enduring unnecessary pain and stress. This self-sufficiency also means emotional independence. You don't need the approval of others to validate your self-worth. When your life is simple enough, and most of your material and spiritual needs can be met by yourself, you possess immense freedom, the freedom to choose the life you want, and the freedom to stay away from people and things that make you uneasy. If your current job or life is making you exhausted, Epicurus would suggest that you don't just tough it out, but instead start thinking about how to simplify. How can you reduce unnecessary expenses? How can you cultivate a skill that brings you satisfaction? Your goal is not to become a success as defined by society, but to become the master of your own life. Principle 7. Enjoy solitude to tend to the garden of your mind. Although Epicurus highly valued friendship, he also cherished time spent alone. This kind of solitude is not for hardening your will in loneliness, nor for becoming cold and distant. It is for digesting thoughts, clearing out the weeds of the mind, and consolidating the soul's tranquility. In solitude, you are free from the noise, judgment, and expectations of the outside world. This is the best time to reflect on your desires and examine your inner fears. You can plan how to reduce the turmoil in your life and converse with ancient wisdom through reading and writing. In these moments, you are not a warrior fighting against the world, but a gardener carefully tending to the garden of your own mind. When your thoughts are like a weedy, overgrown garden, full of negativity and unnecessary worries, you need time alone to prune and to water. This is not escapism, it is active self-maintenance. When you are with friends, you share pleasure. When you are alone, you cultivate the soil of pleasure. The two are complementary and indispensable. Learn to enjoy the tranquility of solitude, and you will be better able to return to society while maintaining your inner peace. So, let's return to our original question. Do you really need to be forever fighting in your inner storm? The philosophy of Epicurus offers a gentle yet powerful answer. It tells us that wisdom lies not in how much pain you can endure, but in how much pain you can skillfully avoid. Strength lies not in how many enemies you defeat alone, but in how warm a harbor you build together with your friends. Stoicism teaches us to stand firm in the storm, while Epicureanism teaches us how to predict the weather, stay safely indoors, and even how to avoid the storm from the very beginning. Both are invaluable tools for life, but their paths are radically different. If you feel that a life of fighting has left you exhausted, perhaps try the Epicurean way. Pursue true pleasure, freedom from bodily pain and mental turmoil. Manage your desires and subtract from life's complexities. Invest in sincere friendships instead of walking alone. Use reason to dispel the fears of death and the divine. Live in the present and extract pleasure from small things. Simplify your life and work to achieve inner self-sufficiency. Enjoy solitude to tend to the garden of your mind. Remember, your life is not a war that must be won, but a work of art that can be carefully crafted. You don't have to fight alone, because happiness is often found in the warm connections with others and in inner peace. If this video inspired you, please don't forget to like and share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. In today's society, which of Epicurus's principles do you find most helpful? Let's discuss it together.